What's up, guys? We are back with another one. I know we just posted one in Evansville, but now it's time for the Masters. That's right, we're here in Detroit, and this is my first ever time at the Masters, and I'm terrified because, as you guys just saw in the last video, we're still working through some of the kinks with the two-handed stuff. Last night I stayed up for like a solid 45 minutes just putting a bowling ball in my hand and just trying to feel what do I need to feel to get this right off my hand, right? Because I feel like once I get my release consistent, like just 90% there, not even 100%, I will be very competitive. Just because being two-handed allows me to be a little bit more effortless. I don't feel like I'm like contorting my body in a max effort to get it to just spin. You know, it's one of those where it's much easier on me. It's much easier for me to focus on the task at hand. You know, I'm not worried about all the stress I'm putting on my body, which is really nice. So we're actually not even at the practice session yet for the Masters. That's later today. That's at 3:30. I am here at Western Bowl up here on the, I guess you say, the western side of Detroit, and we're going to get some practice in. I got like 2 hours until I need to actually start heading to Thunderbowl. So I'm going to go put some work in here for a little bit and work on this feel. Like, try to get this to feel right. I don't want to go into the Masters as completely lost as how I felt yesterday when I left Evansville, right? We made some great strides yesterday at Evansville. I made some amazing shots in the first 3 games there, and I kind of want to build off of that and kind of get away from how I finished yesterday. So let's get in, let's get some practice, and let's get this week off to a great start. Well, that was a well-needed practice session, and we did make some good progress. I wouldn't say we made great progress, but I definitely found something that feels a lot more comfortable when it comes to setup, and something I'm going to definitely use today, because having the ball fall off my hand and feel like it's going to go in the gutter every other shot is not how we want to bowl. But as you guys can see, we're back. Thunderbowl. Oh, the memories. Just a year ago, and it's crazy how much changes in a year, and I would love to think I'm going to go in and do somewhat of the same thing this year that I did last year and end up getting to bowl in that arena bay. But I'll be blunt with you guys, that is a long shot. There is just so much that needs to get ironed out before I feel like I can make it back into that arena. But there's nothing to it but to do it. And I know a lot of people are doubting and criticizing me making the switch to two hands. But the fact of the matter is this: I've been dealing with pain for so long, and so much discomfort and so much change, that I'm just ready to find something that doesn't hurt and allows me to bowl these long formats and not have to worry about fit issues. So I know it's probably not the ideal situation, but that's what we're going to go with. So I need to get changed. I need to get some balls ready. We get in there for practice session. We're going to make the best of today. Best of this week. Let's get it. Guys, well, we're done with practice, and I'll be honest with you guys, I am not happy or excited about tomorrow because I have been given a revelation of why the ball is falling off my hand so much. And it all makes sense. You guys remember my pitches that I've been changing in the bowling ball? Well, I keep going further and further away, right? I'm trying to go further this way, thinking that it sits on my palm better, that type of deal. Well, because of that, it also comes off my hand way faster. And it all makes sense because before, when I had my best release two-handed, all my stuff was like a 1/2 inch or I think like 5/8. And now I'm at an inch away in both, and I cannot keep my hand in the bowling ball. And luckily, my amazing roommate this week, Bailey Maverick, him and I had a amazing long conversation about bowling, and he said, I bet you if you go back to either a 1/2 inch or 5/8 away, you're going to notice a drastic difference in how your release is, and it'll probably allow you to stay in the ball longer and roll it better. And now thinking about back to when I started bowling two-handed, I just went off of the 1/2 inch that I had naturally in my bowling balls, and it worked really well for me. It felt great. But I also wanted more control and like to roll it and not spin it so much, and that's when I started tinkering with pitches away to try to get to lay in my palm better, and that's just caused nothing but headache. So it all is kind of coming full circle of why I can't keep the ball in my hand, and today was just another one of those, just watching it fly off my hand and just drop it every time. So I'm going to try to see if I can't get a couple balls here tomorrow or some way, shape, or form that I can get him drilled up and have maybe a better feel to go in tomorrow, because I'll be honest with you guys, I was so lost today. I was so unbelievably lost. Everything felt awful. I couldn't keep the ball in my hand. I couldn't keep the ball on line. It was bad all the way around. But you know what? We're going to make the best of this week. The good news is even if this goes bad, I still have like a week to prepare for the players, and I would definitely put in for an order of bowling balls and to try different pitches and stuff to give myself something better. But that's kind of where we're at. It was a really rough practice session. I was really, really upset. I just couldn't commit to making shots because I just felt like the ball was going to fall out of my hand every time. And, yeah. But, hey, nothing to it but to do it. See if we can't make something happen tomorrow. What I'm going to do now is kind of show you guys this really cool house that we're in and kind of just show you where we're staying at here in Allen Park for the week. So, quick tour. We got my room here with an awesome ivy wall. If you're a Cubs fan, we love those. Got my own bathroom. Beautiful downstairs. And then upstairs, fly up these stairs here. This whole house has been renovated, and we want to give a huge shout out to that man right there, Bailey Maverick, for finding this gem. Say hi to Dale. And we're getting the Cubs game on now. That's how you actually spend your weekends here in Detroit. Another room, and then up here is an amazing bedroom. This thing is huge. It's the entire upstairs. So that's where we're staying for the week, and as somebody who never went to college and never had roommates, and so I guess you guys can say this is my college experience. So thank you guys. We're gonna eat some food. Well, good morning, guys. It is the day. It's the first day of bowling here at the Masters, and I'm just chilling in the paddock right now. A squad's going on. I slept pretty good last night, but I won't lie, this morning the anxiety really started to kick in. I've only been doing this two-handed thing full-time for 6 weeks now, and I'm still testing and figuring out what feels good, what works right, and I'm so lost when it comes to where to go and what to do just because of lack of time. And I feel like every adjustment I make has just been throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks, and fortunately I'm just not comfortable with anything. So we do got a couple balls coming off the truck here that are drilled a little bit differently. When it comes to pitches in the fingers, they're 5/8 away instead of an inch, hopefully to help hang on to it better, which is wild because you don't think about hanging on to the ball when you're two-handed, but yeah, an inch away makes a huge difference to how fast it comes off your hand. So I'm hoping that this adjustment is something that I can use and be beneficial. If not, it's probably going to be a long 3 days. But you know what? There's nothing to it but to do it. The Lord's blessed us with just the opportunity to be here and to go out and compete, and we're going to make the best of it. I'm not allowed to have a camera out there, so I won't get too many shots. But we'll kind of go through the day after we're done. But we're going to be on burn, so hopefully there's some room created out there from A Squad, and I'm able to maybe get a couple good games in there, and I don't know, maybe give ourselves a look, but I doubt it. Mainly what I'm going to go out to do is try to learn and grow and just hopefully become a better bowler and have a better idea of where to go moving forward. And at least I know I'm going to leave pain-free, so that's going to be nice. So let's go get these balls off the truck and get this day started. head out to get our squad started. Here we go. I have no clue what just happened. I have no idea. I started off game one. I threw it decent. I threw it better than expected. Just be blunt with you guys. Like, I threw it in the direction I was looking more times than not. Release was still a little funky, but it was better because we got those pitches changed, right? And I stepped in the 10th frame, and I dead labeled one, and I stone 9'd, and it could have saved 2-0 that game. I ended up shooting 180. And I thought, oh, man, if we're going to make good shots like that all day, you know, I may not be in that bad a shape. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys, because all I focused on was just trying to keep my hand under the ball, and I just looked at my mark and just threw it there. And my bowling ball did the right thing all day long. I threw a Black Venom all 5 games. It didn't do anything out of the normal. It didn't do anything sporadic. It didn't do anything that suggested to get out of it. It just did the right thing all 5 games. And I was shaking in my boots. I had the front 11. Game 3, I could have shot 300, and I have only bowled in front of the ball return two-handed 2 times until today. And today I had to get in front of the ball return. I don't know how to adjust my approach yet to that. I have no clue. And the ball returns aren't short enough to where I can walk around them. You have to get in front of them. And so I don't even know how I got to the front 11, but I did. And unfortunately, I just kind of nervousness caught me. I tugged the last one because I wasn't going to throw it in the right gutter. And then the last 2 games, I bowled really well. Like, I threw really good shots. Still wasn't like as high of caliber as I'd be hoping for, but I threw them in direction. When it comes to direction, I threw them all really, really well. And I gave myself a chance to either get 9 or strike, and that's what I did. I'm pretty sure my last 2 games were clean, 220 and 220. I don't know what to say right now. I'm stunned. I'm gonna say this was a blind squirrel that found a really big nut, and run with that, because I just don't think my execution was quite as high as it needed to be. I just think I got bailed out by a phenomenal ball reaction, and just me being naive, just being able to put it in the right zone and let it work. So I'm actually about to go celebrate my little victory here and get some really good Mexican food, and then we're going to chill out and try to calm back down and go in and watch C Squad, take some videos. But y'all, that was one of the crazier sets I've had, and what's really wild is I had a chance to lead the whole thing going into the 9th. And I threw a really good shot, and I think I stuffed 9'd on a really good shot in the 9th. So that was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm no complaints. No complaints. I got 2 balls right now on the truck. They're getting plugged, and they're going to re-drill the finger holes to the right pitches now. So now I'll have 4 bowling balls total that I'll be throwing this week. I'll have a lethal. I'll have a red rage. Promo Rage, and then I'll have my Black Venom and my Venom Shock, which honestly, after seeing what that was, I think that's honestly all I'll need. Probably tomorrow on Fresh, the next 2 days of Fresh, I don't really see me using much more than that lethal, and then probably going straight to a Venom Shock. Fronts hook a ton, and so the ball starts up naturally. You don't need it to start up more, and with having a little bit of a smaller motor in it, it helped it get off the spot down lane and recover really well, and so more than likely I'll just stay with those. So I'm just grateful that the Lord gave me this amazing gift of a day, and I'm just gonna be happy about it and keep moving forward and hopefully enjoy the rest of my day. So enough of me ranting. Let's go get some food. Let's calm down for tonight. I may throw some clips in there of C Squad, and if I don't see you guys the rest of the night, I'll see you in the morning with my new thoughts. Well, good morning, guys. It is now Tuesday, day 2 of qualifying. We're the early morning squad today, and I didn't really make much content after my whole rant yesterday before my lunch, and the reason being, I'm still trying to process the day. I really was trying to figure out what happened, because it was amazing that things were so bad, but in the span of literally 6 hours, it went from so bad to just right. And I can only account that to a blessing from the Lord above, because I don't really know how else to explain what just happened yesterday. But after getting to sleep on it and think through just kind of what happened, what transpired, and now the opportunities going forward, it's time to just kind of, I guess, in a sense, accept what happened yesterday. I know that sounds weird, but then try to build off of it. And we did learn some stuff yesterday. We made some progress when it came to release and just being consistent. And so we're just going to take some of that stuff that we learned and picked up, and we're going to roll it into today. We're going to make the best of it. Obviously, got a lot of pins yesterday. The number's only 47 right now for match play, and so that'll probably get to 150. So if we do the math, theoretically speaking, if I just stay even the next 2 blocks, we're going to be all right. But that could be a tall task, especially when I have zero confidence in what I'm doing, which you would think I'd have a lot of confidence after yesterday, but it's still one of those. It's trial by fire, and right now I feel like I'm going to wither pretty quickly if the fire gets too hot. But there's nothing to it but to do it. I say that all the time, because there really is. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to stress about. You just got to go out and do it and do the best you can, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm very lucky. I got a great cross this year. I'm actually crossing with the 2002 Masters champion, Brett Wolf, and he won as an amateur. He won at Reno. It was really cool. He's a great guy, and he's kind of kept me like off the cliff. Like he keeps pulling me back, you know. And yesterday he was like a great calming voice in my head to talk to. So that's a huge blessing to have him on my pair. And also we have Zach Wilkins, who's just he's a comedian, dude. The guy's awesome. So I got a great cross, which has definitely helped out a lot. And you know, now I got 4 total bowling balls that I can throw. So I really am. I'm just go in with just a positive attitude. A positive attitude and a bright outlook on today and the rest of the week. Even if we don't make match play, say we flounder and we fall way off, it was still a really cool run. It was cool to see my name at the top of the list, doing something brand new. You know, obviously, I'm hoping that's not going to happen. We just got to go out and make shots. But it's been a wild ride, and I'm going to keep riding this sucker until the wheels fall off. So I got my caffeine this morning. We're caffeinated and motivated. And I'm going to go clean up some bowling balls and get the bags ready to go, take them out to the lanes, and we're going to get after this day 2. I'd love to go out and put up another good number. I think if I can get the ball to do the right thing and be consistent with my release, I really don't see there being any reason I couldn't put up a good number, just because of how well my ball went through the pins yesterday. But also all comes back to being repetitive and making shots. So hopefully I can get into a right mindset before we start, and I'm able to just go out and execute. So let's have some fun, guys. It's the Masters. As expected, actually. That's kind of how I expected yesterday to go. It's a little frustrating. I'm so close. I know I keep saying that, and you guys are probably tired of hearing me say that, but there are just so many things that show potential of just being amazing, and I just can't put it together. And it's hard to put it together when you're at a major championship when conditions are tough. I mean, they're not easy. And I think the hardest part today is knowing that if I could have just, salvaged some certain shots, probably could have bailed out a day that was only about minus 40 or 50 and could have been still well within the number. But unfortunately now we're trailing. So it's going to take a huge day tomorrow. I needed to get away for a little while and go clear my mind. So I'm actually here at this place called Score Lanes. It's about, 10-15 minutes from Thunderbowl. I'm going to put in some practice. I felt some really great things today that I really just want to emphasize and keep working on, and I want to be able to capitalize on those feelings that came to be today. We'll talk more later tonight. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm a little bummed right now, but that's okay. It's still a learning curve. We're still growing, and there's still work to be done. So that's what I'm going to go do for a little bit, and I'll see you guys in a little while. Well, good morning, guys. It is Thursday, and today is cut day. And yes, I know yesterday did not go as planned, and like I said, it kind of went as expected. And I didn't really go back through yesterday when I got back home because, well, there was no reason to. It was kind of like one of those where two-handed right now is good for me when they're soft and when I have room to miss because, I mean, it's easier, right? But when they get hard and they're, have to hit a mark, it's still something I'm really trying to develop. One thing that I noticed yesterday is like when they get hard, I get really tense when I, not very comfortable. And when you get really tense two-handed and there's no fluidity, what happens is you just start spraying it everywhere because your hand's trying to do one thing while your hips and your shoulders are trying to do another thing. And then your timing's off, and it was just a whole bad scenario yesterday. And I got some great advice from fellow two-handers. I asked around. Simo gave me some good advice. Zach Wilkins, who I'm crossing with, awesome guy, gave me some good advice. And I just had some good talking tos. And obviously Bailey Maverick, my roommate, he was He's very helpful. I love Bailey. And so, like, it's good to have that. But today, we're here for A squad, or for the morning squad. I got to take some content, or film some content, and get some of our motors bowlers doing their thing. And then a little bit after that, I'm going to head over to score lanes again and do some practice. There is one thing I'm going to work on, and that is just a better hand position at setup that doesn't allow me to get so far around the ball. One thing I got pointed out to yesterday is just how far off to the side my left hand is, which allows me to get around it way too much. And I talked to a couple different two-handers who are friends of mine, and they all do the same thing with their hand when they put it in the ball, and I thought it was a bad thing. It's basically how they set it in their palm, and I thought that just wasn't right, and they said, nope, that's perfectly normal. And so I'm going to go practice that for a little bit and see if I can get myself like a better starting position, one that's more consistent at release, and then hopefully today we go out, at least just make better shots and give ourselves a better chance. We're currently sitting 30 out of the number heading into this morning. I would imagine that number's probably going to move up to 80 or 90, so we'll be between 50 or 60 out of the number going into today. I'll be blunt, I don't expect to go 60, 70, 80 over. That I don't really see that being in the cards. But I didn't expect to go 180 over the first day either. So you never know. All we're going to do is go in with just an optimistic mindset. We're going to go get a little practice session in, and we're doing that more so just for me, just so I can feel things, right? Just to know what things feel like, and maybe try to put something different into play today, because yesterday was not it. So that's the game plan today, and also just enjoy it. We're at the USBC Masters. We got to put together a really cool block the first day. I got to see my name at the top of the leaderboard. That was pretty cool. But today is all about surviving advance, and the goal today, if we're going to pick a goal, it's not even to make match play. Today's goal is, let's try to grab a cash spot. If we're actually going to look for a performance goal, that would be the goal I would like to achieve. And if we don't do that, well, at least enjoy it. I got a great cross. It's an awesome tournament. I love Thunderbowl, and there's just no reason to spoil that just because of a bad performance. So let's go in, let's enjoy this morning, get the day off to a good start. Have a good one. All right, well, practice session was okay. I just found one thing I'm going to pick to work on today, and that is get the sun out of my eyes, and that is my right elbow. I noticed that, like, when being one-handed, I'm going to lower this a little bit. When I was one-handed, my elbow liked to really, like, snap at the bottom, and which would allow my hand to kind of get from the inside to the outside of the ball and clear it. I don't need to do that anymore because my thumb's not in the ball. So naturally, my elbow wants to start to go, as in like trying to create rev rate. So like it tries to go around it to create lift. And what happens is I miss it. I spin it really bad. My hand doesn't come out of the ball properly. And I'm going to work on today is just good cadence and tempo and keeping that right elbow locked into the inside part of the bowling ball and just rolling it. Bailey Maverick had a really good point. He's like, you're going to try to take your hand and lift it straight up, basically, like you're just lifting the bowling ball. He said if you do that, your hand's gonna stay in a much better position. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, but it'll at least be, you have a better chance of getting the ball to see the lane properly. And he's right. That's exactly what happened at practice. But yeah, I'm not too optimistic right now. I think we're 40 out of the number, and we're still in cash. Actually, I believe I am the number for the cash spot right now heading into these last 5 games. Well, we actually still got half of this squad left here, this Burn squad, and then they're going to re-roll for us here at 6:30. So I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just looking forward to going in and just kind of learning and growing and doing my best. If by some magical scenario I happen to make it to tomorrow, what a blessing. And if not, what a blessing. We still had a great day yesterday. We had a great day on Monday. We had a fun tournament here at the Masters. Got to make some memories, but definitely a lot of work to do, and just don't think my shot making's quite where it needs to be yet. But we're going to go out and give it our best effort, do the best we can, and enjoy it, because it is the USBC Masters. So I'm going to take you guys in with me. We're going to do some filming here of this squad, this burn squad, and then we're going to slowly get ready to go knock down some pins tonight. So let's get in there. Let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Well, that was a much better block of bowling. But as you can see, I'm dead dog tired because it is currently 2:15 in the morning and I just drove home and I just got home. So I'm going to go in and go to bed, and we'll recap this night when I wake up. Well, good morning. Yes, we are back home. Last night was a long night home. I even got pulled over, not because I was speeding or I did anything stupid, because my running light was out. The cop was cool. Only kept me there for about 3 minutes and sent me on my way. But yeah, I don't really know what to say about this week, y'all. You guys kind of saw the roller coaster. Didn't really get to do as much, I guess, vlogging as I'd like to do for this one. A lot of it had to do with just me kind of being mentally just consumed with everything going on. I didn't really know how to process the first day. And then I felt like I had to do everything in my power to hold on to that spot. And I just knew deep down, like, my shot making wasn't there. You know, I'm not as crisp as I need to be two-handed. And, well, then the next, obviously the next day it was just... But that's okay. I mean, that was as expected. I honestly expected that the first day. But we went back in the third day. Obviously, I put in, I don't know if I put this in here, but I practiced 8 games on Tuesday after we got done on the morning squad. And then I went and practiced another 6 games on Wednesday before we bowled the evening squad. And I was just working on hand positions, like left hand, like on the ball. Like, where do I put this to make sure I'm staying behind the ball? Because, like, I'm getting around it so bad and my elbow was just flying out. And yes, for Svensson, he kind of interlocks his hands. I'm like, well, I wonder if I cradle the ball better underneath it, if that'll help me stay behind it better. And sure enough, it did, because all of a sudden I was able to get my hand in the same spot 9 times out of 10. Now, I wasn't executing great, like, it wasn't coming off my hand perfect, but, like, if 100% is full efficiency, like, made a great shot, I was throwing shots between 80 and 95%, and then just had to worry about direction, which is then, that part's easy, because then all that is just syncing up my hips, right? Syncing up my hips with my eyes and getting the launch angle off my hand correct. And so it took me a couple games. Game 1, bad ball choice last night. Just bad ball choice. That 150 was stupid. That was just the wrong ball. I didn't throw it fantastic, but I didn't throw a 150 bad. The next game, I was really bummed because I was on a roll. I could have had 240 in the 10th. Threw a just awful shot, and I 248-10'd. That was heartbreaking. I ended up shooting 2-0 something in that game. And then game 3, threw it decent. That pair was a little wiggly down lane, and I didn't quite have the tricks to get around it, so I shoot 180, which was a good 180. I made all my spares. I mean, like one of those, like I just grinded through it. We take 180 on that pattern. Game 4 was, that pair was a nightmare. I think Zach Wilkins and I both shot 160 on that pair. That pair was atrocious, man. That pair was so bad. You get the ball to try to start up, and it would hook as soon as it hit the lane and go left. You move left to get away from it, and it would literally back up and miss the head pin to the right. It was just this. That pair was horrific. So that 150 or 60, whatever I shot on that pair, that wasn't necessarily that I threw it too bad. That was just like a perfect storm. Like I didn't have the touch or the feel, and the pair was just awful. And then we go to the last pair, and I threw it really good. I had one shot that kind of got away from me, that big forward, but other than that, I made 11 out of 12 really good shots, and I ended up shooting like 2-team, something like that, which is awesome because they weren't easy. And as the day progressed, I got more comfortable staying behind the ball, rolling the ball into the lane, and that definitely getting that left hand lower on the ball, more of like a cradle, definitely helped me with my right hand be more comfortable staying behind. I didn't feel like I was falling off of the ball so bad. So definitely things that were learned and progress that was made. Everybody I talked to that was two-handed, they all say, well, what you do with your left hand is just, it's subjective. It's whatever you want it to be, like whatever feels the most comfortable to you. So like, Belmo keeps it just right on the back side of the ball. For interlocks his left hand on the ball. Zach Wilkins kind of like wraps his hand around the ball. Like his right hand and his left hand aren't like linear. They're kind of like offset. Because I watched him all weekend. And so I kind of realized, like, okay, what do I need to do to feel comfortable to me? Because I want to roll the ball. Like, I want to, my big thing is I want the ball to see the front half of the lane. So that way I know I can control it, right? And then once I know I can control the front half of the lane, we just pick the right ball then. And so last night was definitely a huge confident boost to knowing that, okay, this is where we need to go with at least setup. And I will say the last game, I was able to focus on making shots, which is something I hadn't gotten to do in a long, long time with two hands because I've been worried about all the small details to make sure I get them right. And that last game, I was solely focused on just looking at a mark and hitting a mark, that's a good feeling to have. We got a couple weeks till the Players' Championship. I know a lot of people are bummed that I fully committed to switching. I'll be honest with you guys, I love it. I just bowled all weekend. Let's see, the 15 games I bowled there, and then another 14, so that's 29 games, not including the practice session we had the day before, and then I practiced before the practice session, which was another 13 games. So 13 games plus an hour of practice plus the 29 games, like that was all in the span of 4 days. And my arm feels great, and I'm about to go practice right now. So the freedom I have with no pain, no discomfort, and the fatigue and all that just being gone, it is well worth the price of the struggle that I'm going through right now to learn how to do it. And I will also say this too. With my mindset, and which is like how I like to be so aggressive, this is actually really good for me because it allows me to be aggressive without having to use 100% of my output, right? One-handed, I was just gnawing on it every shot. With this, I can't do that because I don't have a leverage point to throw it off of. I have to roll the ball. But it allows me to still stay in that same mindset. We're being aggressive, and I don't have to worry about absolutely just trashing my arm. And it's amazing. So the Masters, overall, it was cool. Made a lot of cool memories. I mean, sitting third after the first day, going 180 whatever over I went. I mean, that just shows you guys, you don't have to have the absolute, you don't have to make shots like an absolute Belmo. A good ball reaction will bail out bad shot making. However, good shot making won't bail out a bad ball reaction. Always remember that, all right? And on Monday, I had the perfect ball reaction. I threw it half decent too. Not like I threw it awful. Like we put it in the right spot. You still have to get it in the zone. But I definitely got a lot of strikes there from the ball just doing the right thing. Where, like, obviously Tuesday and Wednesday, bad shot making and not so good ball reaction definitely, that showed up. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. There's a little bit of a rant here at the end, but this is a journey and we're all on it together. I think we all are. I don't know. I mean, I know I got at least 3 subs. That's mom, dad, and my sister. But we're all on this together, and I'm just excited to see where the Lord takes me through this year. Like I don't really know what the plan is. I really know what my future looks like. I'm just here for it. So we got a couple weeks here till the players. Like I said, I'm about to go practice. We're gonna keep working on this because I really like to make this a competitive. Just like to be competitive. You know, I like to go out and compete and hopefully run down some regional titles this year and stay pain free. So there you guys go. Fun Masters, definitely a memorable one for my first one, and I'm looking forward to getting to the players here in Jack 60 in 2 weeks. So guys, keep everything straight off the hook. Make sure you go support the sponsors: Motive Bowling, Jopo Grips, Zello Gear, and Genesis. You guys know that they're the best. And yeah, keep everything straight off the hook. I'll see you guys next time.